Hello, my name is Crucimix, and it's been a very long time since I've had the gall to upload a single thing to this pretty little YouTube channel. Let's hope I haven't completely destroyed myself in the algorithm. Now, I know I promised you guys a long-form video essay, and I am still working on that. It's gonna be about 21 minutes long, which doesn't sound all that long, but I'm not using gameplay footage, so it's gonna be a bit of a different beast from what I usually make. Now onto the topic of today's video. It's a really morally ambiguous question as to whether I should even make something talking about this. I felt kinda passionate about the subject, so I said, fuck it, I'll go through with it, but if you're really sensitive on certain things, maybe avoid this one. Back in March of this year, the 5th video on this channel was the Lolicon debate, where I talked about this sort of incessant subject that seems to never leave my Twitter timeline. To give you a brief little recap of that video, the Lolicon debate is this sort of argument that seems to never end, where people discuss whether or not 2D images are equivalent to actual, vile, not safe for work material of underage individuals. Yeah, I'm gonna be tiptoeing my way through a lot of terms that I can't exactly say on YouTube.com. Anyway, that's it. Some people like to get the rocks off to images of 2D children, and that's probably not a great thing, but it's also probably not something that should necessarily be illegal. In the end, it's kind of an argument of creative expression. I don't think you're ever gonna really be able to stop people from drawing what they want and doing what they want with those kinds of images, because it's not real people, it's not something you can exactly persecute for. I mean, anyone who's seen a fur affinity count knows that some people should be arrested for the things they draw, but at the end of the day, can we really, put them behind bars? People should be allowed to do what they want as long as it doesn't hurt someone else, and I don't really see how this is hurting someone else, even if it is kinda degenerate. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can talk about the meat and potatoes of this situation, because while the action of ingesting this 2D sort of garbage is not really hurting anyone, the counter-argument apparently has done some awful damage to human beings recently. The people who find themselves arguing against these lewd JPEGs of anime girls have, they've kind of gone off the deep end recently. They're actually kind of evil. I'm terrified, honestly. I thought they were just an annoying group of little assholes on Twitter, but no, they're really fucked up. I mean, most of these people are just 12-year-olds, so you can't exactly expect them to have a strong sense of morality, but Jesus Christ. Now, I'm gonna be censoring just about everyone's names here because it's a pretty bleak subject, and I don't care if they're on the right or wrong side of things. I think it's probably best to just avoid, casting them out in general. That being said, it probably wouldn't be hard to find this information, I just don't feel like throwing it out there. Also, for the no-no word, I'm gonna use, adipocere. This user says Anon has attempted adipocere for the 4th time, and this time was very likely successful because she has never been as low as she has for the last few days, and I hope you're happy, Twitter. I really hope this sits with you. You just adipocered a young teenage girl for no reason. And yeah, that's kind of the brunt of this situation. This teenager was on the side of lollies, and the people around her didn't like that, so they just ganged up and bullied and sent pictures of gore to them and all kinds of just rotten, horrible things. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Crucimix, I thought you were pretty edgy. I thought you kind of liked telling people they should unsubscribe from their lifetime subscription to reality, and I do. I very much enjoy saying those kinds of words. I kind of adore bullying. I think it's really fun. I really enjoy it, but you guys know, you are aware of the fact that there's a line, right? Like, you don't really cross the line into the territory of bullying mentally unstable people or underage people, right? Like, oh no, I can't stand these JPEGs of anime girls. I have to do something about this. Let's get together and fucking bully someone until they stop existing. Now, to be fair, there is not yet evidence that they actually did it. There's just kind of some circumstantial thing. This person isn't talking to anyone right now, so there's maybe a chance they're still alive. They just said the depression equivalent of don't come to school tomorrow and then disappeared, so we're not exactly sure, but it doesn't bode well whenever, they've tried before. There really isn't that much in the way of hope right now, so it's kind of bleak to see people in the replies to this and on several different tweets just being happy that this happened. Honestly, if your bullying leads to something tragic, the least you could do is kind of feel bad about it, I don't think it's entirely fair to blame people on the internet for someone doing something bad in real life. I feel like some people just aren't ready to deal with what the internet has to offer, and it's kind of just a sad thing that, children are exposed to this place. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who bullied them or why. It's going to happen to someone eventually, because the internet is just a place where bullying exists. It's just part of the aesthetic here. You should really do better to keep your children off of this website, and all websites. The internet isn't exactly a safe place for the well-adjusted, so putting a teenager on here, it's just a bad idea, but even if it isn't entirely your fault that this happened, maybe you could feel at least a little bad. I don't know, man, just maybe a little bit of empathy. It's like I don't really blame Keemstar for what happened to Etika, but if he came out and was like, oh yeah, he deserved it after the fact, then maybe I wouldn't like Keemstar all that much at all. Like, being the straw that breaks the camel's back is bad, but like, spitting on a tomb is considerably worse, right? So while I don't really feel like showing examples of 12-year-olds congratulating themselves for convincing a 16-year-old to add up a seer, I do want you guys to know that I'm not making this up, so here's another little instance of someone discussing it. I'm truly disgusted at how people under this are more concerned about lollies and blaming the victim for not preventing these threats as if they weren't witch hunted from Twitter to Discord. Anyone who is involved in driving them to add up a seer should get their ass sued. This user said, hope this isn't true, and if it is, I hope the aunties who harass them suffer in life, to be honest. Y'all gamer words be like, I don't like problematic fiction, I'm actually normal, and then proceed to be the most vile and horrible human beings online. Honestly, the more bleak aspect of this is the fact that it's not going to be remembered in a couple weeks. People are just going to go back to the exact same argument and continue on. I mean, it's been a year since I got on Twitter noticing this stuff, so it has to have been going on for a lot longer, and the fact that it hasn't ramped down at all is kind of insufferable. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully the people who try and fight against these JPEGs are constantly reminded, constantly bombarded with the knowledge of what they did to this person. Regardless of whether or not they're still alive, I think we've seen exactly how they would react if they weren't still alive, and it's important to remember that. It's important to remember that their whole argument is a moral one, and they have no morals, so maybe don't entertain them anymore. I mean, supposedly they worry that these degenerate images are going to lead to degenerate behavior, and yet the only ones doing something completely immoral here are them. Anyway, that about does it for today's needless diatribe. Sorry to have come back on such a bleak topic. I'm really usually at my best whenever there's someone to make fun of, but here I'm just kind of grossed out. It's kind of depressing. The fact that this argument's been going on this long, and the fact that I can't believe it got to this point. But I did kind of enjoy talking about it, so thanks for allowing me to speak this long. If you've watched to this point, you must be a real Crucimix head, really enjoying the Crucimix core. If YouTube had its own Spotify Wrapped thing, I would have my videos all over yours. It's insane that you would make it this far, so why don't you go ahead and take it a little bit further? As long as YouTube doesn't hate me now for skipping about 3 months of work, then I'll keep making videos. So why don't you go ahead and subscribe and stick around? Honestly, I am sorry for it taking this long. I have had a lot happen to me recently. I'm going to make a video on it at some point, but you know, those storytime videos don't really do all that well, so I'm holding off until at least whenever I finish my long-ass video essay, and by long-ass, I mean like 23 minutes. Thanks for sticking around this long. My name is, has been, and will be Crucimix in the foreseeable future. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Goodbye. Oh, hey, looks like there's still 3 minutes worth of runtime I can use, so did you guys hear about Kanye going on Alex Jones and making him incredibly uncomfortable, like absolutely terrified?
Oh my goodness. Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. Look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Oh man. Well, I have to disagree with that.
I mean, I like Kanye, but you have Alex Jones scared. I don't know how you did that. That's not something I expect to be possible, you know what I mean? In my free time when I'm hanging with the boys in public, I like to scare the hoes, you know what I mean? I like to go hard in the paint, I like to really terrify some individuals and embarrass my friends, but if someone were to counter that, if someone were more embarrassing than me, I would be pretty fucked up.
Say, like, you like the uniforms, but that's about it.
No, there's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things. Hey.
Kanye has gone so far off the deep end that he managed to put the same expression on Alex Jones' face that iDubbbz put on Tana Mojo's back in the day whenever he came up behind her and said the N-word. I think we've firsthand seen the line drawn between schizophrenic and normal conspiracy theorist here. It's also incredibly bizarre to see Nicholas Fuentes on the sidelines nodding his head as Kanye absolutely has a mental breakdown. I can't believe we're at the point where the guy who's known for saying fucking women is gay is on the same stage as Kanye, who's wearing a gimp mask and scaring the fuck out of Alex Jones.
Never having a girlfriend, never having sex with a woman, really makes you more heterosexual. Because honestly, dating women is gay. Having sex with women is gay. And having sex with men is gay. And you know, it's all gay. And if you want to know the truth, the only really straight heterosexual position is to be an asexual.
is ripping Ben Shapiro with the exact same Jew jokes I used in high school. Anyway, thanks for letting me run the timeout on this. Love you guys. Bye-bye.